Well, hello and welcome back, my Royal Rogues. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue, and we are finding out that Meghan and Harry are going woke. Will they go broke as well? You're about to find out. And first, I have to showcase some other images that I have been doing with artificial intelligence. This is synthetic images like Harry living his best life at Montecito. I have a couple examples of this generated images. You can see that it looks like the real Harry in many ways, and not only about appearance, but he also has Meghan. Lucky for him. And yes, these images can get really creepy really quickly. So, one has to be a bit careful about what you find. Please don't check those backgrounds. Those backgrounds have nightmares on them. But let's go back to Harry and Meghan because today's topic is a bit controversial, and I don't know how much the algorithm lords are going to ban me for talking about this, but I have to talk about this. Thanks, Unlikely Bot, for pointing this article. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are back in a campaign group working in UK schools that accuses parents of gendering their unborn children. What is this? This is a peak wokery. Prince Harry and his wife Meghan's podcast, Our Swipes, has a partnership with the Global Boyhood Initiative, a group which aims to promote gender equity by fostering positive masculinity in boys and men. Well, you know that this is about fixing so-called toxic masculinity, and I have one word or two to say about that. But first, the Global Boyhood Initiative has created a curriculum which is being piloted in London schools and encourages primary school children to question gender norms. This sounds like that word that starts with G. But when we talk about toxic masculinity, maybe everybody in this program just wants Harry or all men to be like this.
There's none of that training. That might exist for other members of the family. That was not something that was offered to me.
So nobody tells you anything?
No.
Nobody prepares you?
No, I mean, but even down to like the national anthem.
Yeah, that's the moment that everybody confirmed that Harry was absolutely, demasculinized. Or is that a word? I just made it. I don't care. You understood perfectly. The state of UK boys, and by extension, this is the Western world, because these kind of programs are being applied in the USA and also in Australia and in Canada. So this is relevant for practically everybody. A report published last year by the group suggested that families and schools are gender and heterosexuality factories. What? You mean that biology is, the factory of binary gender? That's because that is just plain biology for everybody. It's not that I'm saying it, it's just a biological fact. And gender is not tied to sex organs. Well, whatever you say. The report also states that parents may begin gendering their children even before birth based on the identification of external genitalia in scans, including through elaborate gender reveal parties and a stream of purchases along gender lines. Now, what is the problem with that? I don't see a problem here. These people are trying to create a problem out of nothing. But it has an agenda. It adds, while the family is a place of nurturing and support for many children, it can also be where gender and sexuality are regulated and policed, as many of our interviewees are much research suggests. Now, this is something that I think it had taken so long for the Harkles to jump on this actual, real, direct, woke bandwagon. And even if this is not that direct, it's a bit indirect, it is still the way that they're taking, because there's so much craziness in the world leading in this direction that they couldn't help but do this, since the racism claims are no longer the niche And since they are no longer Black Lives Matter anymore, they have to jump on this next trend. Boys will be boys. The report argues that this statement could be dangerous. It objects to public representations of boys and boyhood as in opposition to and distinct from girls. Yes, because boys are distinct from girls in many ways. Shocking news. And as naturally predisposed to behave in particular ways because we are. That is nature. That is normal. And I'm going to highlight the flaws of this research and this poster. It said that this fixed conception is particularly problematic when it implies that male violence or harassment of women springs from innate impulses. Hey, wait a minute with that one. We men are naturally violent, not towards women. That is just plain wrong. But our testosterone makes us do crazy things and to ourselves. Like, hey, let's see if this lion is as tough as it thinks it is. That kind of stupid stuff. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be translated directly into harassment of women. That doesn't make sense. We do not come engineered or programmed for harassment. We do come with levels of violence and aggressions. And the trick is, well, having a healthy family that can help us channel those impulses into something that is productive and constructive. And at the same time, using that aggression and using that being dangerous to protect our own families. That is the way it has always been. David Bartlett, a co-author of the report, is the project lead on the group's UK initiative, which argues that we need a generation of boys who are not influenced by restrictive gender stereotypes and can build and sustain healthy, respectful, caring relationships. I have another problem with this. What does it have to do with men recognizing that we are aggressive, that we are violent in principle, but we learn to channel that through sports, through building things, to, I don't know, engaging in activities when we can channel that energy and at the same time build and sustain healthy, respectful, caring relationships, even if we have the ability to be violent, because that is something that is in men's nature. You cannot change that. And the fact that there are people that try to change that nature in men means that either they do not understand our nature or they have other intentions in mind. Well, I had to say something about myself, for example, in school, in primary school. You could say that, well, Jesus is a man, so he must like team sports, right? Because, well, team sports are competitive and you can act as a team and drain your energy through that. Well, no, I can tell you that I just hate team sports with every grain of my soul and my body. I hate them. I never liked them, and I despise every second I spend in team sports. Why did I like to do? I like the plays, the theater, the arts, the music, everything. I was an artist. Was I going against traditional gender stereotypes? Could I be benefited from a program like this? No, because my energy, my aggressiveness was channeled in another ways. And the most important principle in schools that you can apply for boys and girls, it doesn't matter, it's the same, is curiosity. School is for fostering the curiosity of boys and girls. And that curiosity, I'm curious. I think I don't like math that much, but I like sports, or I don't like sports that much. I prefer arts. And in that genuine and that primitive curiosity, we begin to explore what do we really like. But it's something that doesn't have to do anything to do with gender, because that doesn't come into play but much later. So this is just trying to brainwash kids in something that no, that is toxic masculinity. What do you mean? The violence? There are ways to channel that violence. You can start practicing wrestling or martial arts, and in martial arts you learn how to channel that aggressiveness, channel that violence into something that is constructive. Now, picture this. Children aged between 7 and 11. 7 and 11. What the actual F? Will learn about the role gender norms play in their lives through activity-based questioning and critical reflection. Man, that doesn't make sense. These people want to just plant these ideas in children. According to the group's website, they will also be encouraged to explore equitable, inclusive, and non-violent attitudes and behaviors in a safe and comfortable space. That's just wrong. You don't block the violent and aggression and everything. You channel that energy in ways that this is the constructive way to channel that energy. And at the same time, if you channel that energy in sports, you don't become so stupid as to give a prize to everybody. Oh, but everybody gets a prize because we cannot give a prize to just one because the other are going to feel bad. No. The ones that can channel the discipline to do to the sports or the activity better, they deserve the prize. And this is something that I'm also upset about, that stupidity of no, everybody gets a prize. It's like Oprah giving out cars. Hey, you get a car, everybody gets a car. That doesn't make sense. Miriam Cates, the conservative MP, said she was worried that a stated aim is specific of the Global Boyhood Initiative's relationship and sex education curriculum was to train young children to become agents of change for gender and social justice. Yeah, just plain and simple brainwashing. Attempting to re-educate small children for reasons of political activism is indoctrination and an abuse of the trust that children place in teachers and parents place in schools. I'm sure this is not easy for most people, but homeschooling is I think is the best approach nowadays. It is not easy, it is not practical, but we are talking about the psyche of our children, of the future of our future generations, and this is something that we should consider. The people that are brainwashing our children in every continent, in all the Western world. And it's just plain dangerous. They're setting themselves for frustration. She added, it is also concerning that the Global Boyhood Initiative says they have widened their net to include children of all genders. How many genders are there? We suggest they hold to an extreme position on gender ideology. We don't understand why a school would need to get an outside agency in to challenge gender stereotypes in a primary school. As usual, my Royal Rogues, would Harry and Meghan be right with this woke agenda? Would they go broke afterwards? I would like to know, what do you think in the comments? My Royal Rogues, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. And until we meet another video or another live, remember the two most important words: much love and bliss.